Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy IX. Last time when we left off, Alexandria had just come under attack from Bahamut, who, ever since the infantry, is under the control of Kuja. The rest of the party are still taking Regent Cid's airship over from Trino, which leaves just Garnet here giving orders, and Steiner and Beatrix going around protecting the town. Also, since Kuja is here, it's not just Bahamut attacking from the air, it's also a bunch of Mistodons roaming about the town as well. So real quick, we're going to take a second and get that shiny new coral sword equipped on Steiner, and we're also... Holy shit, look at this! We actually get a chance to examine Beatrix's inventory, since she is a proper party member and we are in one of those rare moments where we're not fighting with her. That's not going to last for long, so we will go ahead and take that opportunity to just steal all of her shit. Because she's not going to be a permanent party member, so whatever she has on her, might as well go ahead and grab that. Just yoink. Everything with the exception of her weapons save the queen, which we cannot unequip. Like I said before, though, we can synthesize it, and I think we can do that on this disc. Not that it's going to be terribly useful to us. Oh, this attack sucks. No, well, at least Beatrix's action is coming up. And that seems like it may have been a little bit overkill. Either way, we have so many of the Mistodons to fight that we don't actually want to spend all that much time putzing around with them. So we'll just heal up and move on. This is going to be much like the infantry where, you know, we proceed around town, we run around, and occasionally we will just get these overworld ambushes by the Mistodons. Which we're going to start cutting out, because we've seen this enemy way too many times since the end of Disc 2. And the fight does not change at all now. I do love some of the angles that we get of them. Shows you just how skin crawly and creepy crawly they are. You know, there were 2 Knights of Pluto that we assigned to protect the townspeople. They are not doing a very good job, since we have to step in ourselves. And this is a good moment that the two of them have just to themselves, where Steiner can talk about how he's vowing to protect everyone else, and Beatrix. They're growing closer. I want to say this is the last wave. Good, good, good. So Garnet... Oh, I see a mosquito. Motherfucker! Get out of here. Garnet. Hold on. Fuck. Little fucker. Garnet comes to at an unspecified amount of time later, and something is compelling her to climb to the top of Alexandria Castle. We've seen this general area, but not this side of everything. We haven't really been here. This is going to be a fairly FMV-heavy sequence of events. And also, I hope you are prepared for a lot to just suddenly get dumped on us. Can still hear music. That's what's compelling her. Some kind of song leading her up here. And this is such a strong moment for her, where she wants to use her mom and Zidane as a crutch, but realizes she has to find her own inner strength here. And then we cut over to the Hildegard 2, Sid's innovative new airship, which they're making some test runs and it's not going perfectly. It's going to get them where they need to go, but the ship was designed with Oglops in mind. And it's making everyone a little bit uneasy and a little bit queasy. Until something starts to sparkle on Aiko. And remember, we have that whole thing about the sacred jewel and the fragments of it. How Garnet has 2 pieces and Aiko has 2 pieces after the last time they parted ways. Maybe it's the Holy Judgment. What could that be? Oh, this is such a beautiful scene, too. Alexander's Judgment. That was a very literal leap of faith on the part of Aiko. But they both felt something that drew them together. Aiko knows exactly what's going on, though. She knows all about this jewel, or these jewel fragments. She grew up in Midansari. She's only 6, but she knows about all of this stuff. And she's going to help Dagger out. It's weird that we're still calling her Dagger, actually. Oh, Holy Guardian, hear our prayers. Darkness overshadows us once again. I guess this is them communicating with Alexander through Aiko's horn. Oh, Holy Guardian, hear our prayers. Deliver us out of darkness into light. If you know about the history of Alexander the Summon from the series, you get an idea of what's about to happen and what its whole deal is. It's the fucking coolest! This is the best Alexander has ever been. I distinctly have these vivid memories of the first time I ever played FF9. I got to that FMV. And how strong my reaction was even as a child back then. It's so cool. It's such a powerful moment. Who the fuck is this? Who is this space wizard emperor? Who apparently seems to be overseeing Kuja. And he knows Zidane! Talking about how he has come to Gaia, as in the planet Gaia, meaning he's not a native. And apparently in control of this ship overlooking that giant eye that we've seen in the sky a few times now. And we now know it to be called the Invincible. So the Invincible... Oh, and we have a name! Garland! Why would he come to Gaia? I told you, get ready to have some stuff dumped on you. Like how he traveled here from somewhere that was not Gaia on a ship with a giant eye. And he knows Zidane. He knows Zidane and Kuja both. And that ship, remember, is how Bahamut was taken over before. So Kuja summoned it to take over Alexander as well, and that failed. Because Garland thinks that he has gone off the reservation. That he's no longer sticking with whatever their plan was! Which is a revelation that we will explore more in Disc 3. Now things are picking back up. Alright, so we're ready to move on. I spent a couple of minutes just getting things organized and equipped, getting prepared for this. So if we duck in over here to the left in the library, and we peruse this shelf towards the back of the library, there's something here we can challenge. So what I'm going to be doing is just focusing as VV. Oh yeah, that's right, I de-equipped Mug. Just gonna do a lot of focusing as VV to pump his magic up. Zidane can steal or attack. Honestly, stealing isn't gonna do me that much good. Amaranth is going to alternate between regular attacks and using Chakra to restore MP to VV, as well as Freya. And Freya is gonna sometimes attack, but mostly just pure statuses and spam Rice's Wind. Or Reese's Wind, however you want to say that. This is only the second of two possible opportunities to fight this optional boss in the entire game. The first is much earlier, or was much earlier on, when we were in the castle to rescue Garnet. And trust me, that makes this fight much, much harder, because you're so much less prepared and so much more underleveled. And this is already a slightly challenging fight. We're also gonna really have to get Freya back up quickly once she drops from the Doom. It's page 160. I hope damn it! I didn't want this to happen, because I have an attack queued up as Zidane. At least with Devil Killer on, that's at least gonna be 2000 HP. That sucks, though. That was a big mistake on my part. I queued too many attacks up. So this is fun because it actually requires like a lot of attention and a game plan. You also don't have Aiko, Garnet, or even Kina available here, so your healing is reduced to just like auto potion consumables, which take up a turn, or the regen provided from Freya's abilities. But if you play this right, Freya is all the healing output that you're actually going to wind up needing. So first off, let's talk about some of the preparations I made. The main one is trying to make sure that as much of the party as possible has antibody on to guard against the poison that this thing does in this phase. The second is outfitting a few people with Devil Killer, since this boss is classified as a demon. Also, it's weird that this is that the normal enemy encounter music is playing instead of the boss music, because this very much is a boss fight. Those are the main preps I made. The main things I'm itemizing for. Of course, also having Angel Bless on Zidane is important. And if you don't have Fyra on learned on Vivi by now, it's really time to get something that'll teach that to it. Those are both kind of a given, though. Oh, also de-equip anything with counter. That can be pretty important. So this boss is called Tantarian. And the fight is divided into two phases. The first phase is when the boss is hiding in the book, in the pages of the book. And at that point, his defenses are through the roof. And it's a pretty dangerous phase because he has Doom, as you saw. He has a really nasty AoE attack that I'm shocked he did not do even once. And as you can notice, when I was hitting him, the pages would turn. And it works out so that 1 point of damage equals 1 page. And you'll typically find the boss after about page 150 or so. And once you find him in the book, that's when phase 2 starts. He emerges, he's fully vulnerable. He loses that nasty AoE ability and Doom, and usually all he tries to do is poison you, which is where all the antibodies come in. However, if you hit him with a physical attack in this phase, as you saw before when I screwed up, he retreats again and you start back at page 1. So he will eventually do that on his own anyway, but you have plenty of time to burn him down, a lot at least, during this phase. And the reason why Angel Bless is so good on Zidane for this fight is because it lets Zidane fit damage in without resetting back to phase 1, because Angel Bless gives him the Thievery skill I've been using. And Thievery does not do physical damage. And as a side note, the way this ability works is, it's something that you can really pump up ahead of time, but I have not been electing to spend a lot of my time stealing. And the damage that Thievery does is the number of times that you have successfully stolen, and you multiply that by your speed stat. And you take the product of that and divide it by 2, and that is the damage that you're going to get with Thievery consistently. Oh, and also, any successful steals from the other Tantalus crew members are counted in addition to Zidane's. So if you steal a lot with Zidane or the others and have a high speed stat, this will do a lot of damage. For our purposes, though, it's still going to at least speed things along. It's an extra few thousand over the course of the fight. So it's not just going to be BB doing all of the lifting here. He still does most of the heavy lifting. There are 2 weapons that teach that, by the way. Angel Bless, the one we have, and one called the Tower. And also, Thievery leads you to be able to learn Zidane's strongest trance attack, which we will hopefully see sooner or later. The nature of trance is really finicky. But we'll probably see it eventually. I'm not going to say pretty soon. You can never guarantee that. And speaking of stealing, there are a few pretty powerful items that we could snag off of Tantarian. Oh, there he goes, retreating into the book on his own. Probably got him pretty low. other couple of things that we can take from him. One in particular is super low success rate, and it's the only thing that I actually want from him, and we can just buy it later in the disc anyway, so... this fight is already gonna last a long time. It already has, and we still have a bit more to go through. Since Tantarian has the 22,000 HP. And our only damage dealer aside from Zidane is VV spamming Fyra for about 3k a pop, once we get him back into Phase 2. You know, we can't really rely on Freya or Amaranth for damage. Freya has Lancer, but I don't want to take a turn to use that, and I also don't know if that counts as physical damage. Amaranth can't really do too much, so I'm just using, because, you know, the physical hits, so I'm just using him as support. He's there spamming Chakra and giving Freya and Vivi all the mana in the world to work with. Should only take a couple of more rounds of Thievery. Oh, there it is. Ooh. Told you it's nasty. Oh, I still had counter equipped on Zidane. That's not good. So the thing about counter is that it doesn't tick up the page count, but it will reset him to Phase 1, I believe, if you just happen to get, like, something poorly timed out. Oh yeah, and since that's not a physical hit, and I don't think it counts as magical damage either, there is no defense against that. It's always going to do the same amount of damage no matter what. It's still important to get him back to this phase, and now that he's here, this is going to be really simple. It means we have plenty of time to get Amaranth up. We can let the regen from Reese's Wind tick away on everyone, and even if he does get back to Phase 1, that's not going to be a problem. Because by the time he's back in Phase 1, and he could possibly even do his Read or Die Paper Master shit again, everyone's going to be back up to full HP by then anyway. It's also so useful having regen on Freya by default, having auto regen, because as soon as you pick her up with a Phoenix down, she's immediately healing. Now we'll just keep the routine up. Thievery, Fyra, keeping regen applied through Reese's Wind, keeping MP up with Chakra, and that's the fight. This is the flow of the fight. It lasts oh, there we go. It lasts a while just because this optional boss has a ton of HP, but as long as you have good preparation and a game plan, and good follow-through on that, it's not too bad. It's just a lot of repetition. I still really like that fight, though. Just because of how much more demanding it is than really anything else that we've been up against in the entire game so far. Also, fun fact, the French version of the game calls the Tantarian Lovecraft. The boss is also a reference to an enemy called Page 64 from FF5. So now that we have dispatched that optional challenge and got our running shoes and a whole lot of XP, I guess that's the only other thing that differentiates it from a normal boss, is that it awards XP. Now that we have all that, we can climb the same stairs that we saw Garnet run up earlier, and finally reunite with her. And Aiko. But Zidane is going to split from everyone else, make sure everyone else gets out of the castle safely, while he goes and tries to rescue Garnet, who seems to be in imminent danger, even if she and Aiko don't realize it. Since Kuja may very well, for all they know, be on the verge of destroying the castle. And Sid will be heading with them. Aw, this is a sweet moment between these two. Alright, and up we go. Even though Garland has usurped control of the Invincible and is not allowing Kuja to take over Alexander, there's still an imminent danger from Garland. On the bright side, we at least managed to get him out of harm's way. Looks like Alexander's allegiance to us may have been short-lived. He was cool while he lasted, though. May or may not be the last we've seen of him. And more souls have returned in microscopic proportions. So there's some process that he's talking about that's been circulating souls for thousands of years, and they must never be circulated back. Pay attention to this. Someday I must face your counterpart. I think that is going to do it for now. Thank you all for watching. Take it easy. Have a good one.